Okay, so the brutal truth no one wants to accept is that focus is not about adding new things, it's about subtracting. Right? Most people think that to be better at focusing, they need a new strategy, a new technique, to add a new app, or a new daily tracker, or even supplements. But the truth is, and no one wants to tell you, but removing things is the key to focus. And not only have I seen this on my own personal experience through being top of my class and getting amazing grades in university and now starting a business, but also on the scientific literature that I have reviewed prior to making this video. Now, before we start, if you can't sit and focus for 5-10 minutes on a video on how to improve your focus, this isn't for you. Click off. Now, if you stayed, put this video in full screen and actually focus, because I am going to change the way you approach focusing and actually working. So let's get started with something in cognitive psychology, which is our attention. When we're focusing, we need to put our attention into the object of focus. And in cognitive psychology, we have this thing, which is we can divide attention into selective attention, and basically just keeping our attention focused on one specific thing, and divided attention, which is when we divide our attention into different tasks, okay? And in this second one, on the divided attention, we necessarily lose performance in one of these two. Focus is removing other things so we can focus. I know it's me focus a lot, but so we can focus on just one thing, okay? Now, what does this mean in real life, okay? Focusing is not about adding any things, it's about precisely removing the next following things that I'll tell you, and if you do it, you'll be doing like the 20% that will give you 80% of the results. If you just try adding stuff, fundamentally it won't work, right? If you're trying to build a house and you start with decorations, the foundation will just crumble. What you need is a strong foundation, and for focus, it's going to be removing. First of all, it's removing the addictions, and specifically the stimulation that comes from digital addictions and from behavioral addictions, right? From scrolling, porn, video games, etc. What happens is, let's take scrolling for example. You're getting your brain used to new information all the time, okay? After 10 seconds, 15, 30 seconds, you're scrolling, and you're training your brain to not stay focused for long, which is the exact opposite of what you want when you're trying to work on your business. When you're trying to work on something, what you want is your focus to stay on that thing for a long time. And when you're scrolling, when you're watching porn, when you're playing video games, you're not doing that. So you do need to quit these. And if you're struggling with that, I have a completely free 3.5-hour course in the description. You can check it out if you want to, okay? The second thing is your diet, okay? You need to remove bullshit from your diet. You need to remove junk food, and specifically carbohydrates, okay? So for a few reasons. First of all, you want to avoid eating a lot, okay? When you eat a lot, what happens is that your body will take blood away from your brain into your gut to digest the food. And so this is why you feel lethargic after eating like a gigantic plate of food, okay? So if you're trying to focus, try not eating a shit ton, okay? The second thing is avoiding carbohydrates, as I said. Why? Because of two main things. So first of all, carbohydrates have a sedative effect, meaning that they make you feel sleepy because of how they act in your body. And so if you're trying to work after eating a gigantic carbohydrate meal, it's not going to help. The other thing is that having a low blood sugar increases a neurotransmitter called adrenaline or epinephrine, right? And this is going to increase your alertness. And when you want to focus, we do want to be alert. And so increasing this alertness is going to help you increase your focus. And on the opposite side, if you have a high blood sugar, which is bad, you just don't have this increase in alertness, so you have a worse focus, okay? Now, the third thing is going to be balancing exercise, okay? You don't want to do intense bouts of exercise before your work. Why? Well, exercising is great for your brain, okay? Whether that's resistance training, that's the gym, or that's aerobic training, so cardio, these are both going to be really good for your brain in the short and long term, okay? And I'm not shitting on exercise. However, it does follow a bell curve, okay? If you don't do any of it, it's bad. If you do too much, it's bad as well. You want to be in the middle in terms of cortisol, right? Because exercise will release cortisol. and you want to be right in the middle. That's the sweet spot to have increased mental performance. This means not doing extremely intensive exercise for over an hour prior to working. And I myself love going to the gym, and I really like to train to failure, which means just, let's say I'm doing a bicep curl, right? I'm going until I can't move anymore. And I used to do like long workouts. And upon reviewing the scientific literature, I have now changed it. So ideally, you want to keep 80% of your workout below failure, so below that level of intensity, and then 20% can be that. And you generally want to keep your workouts below, underneath 1 hour if you're trying to go to the gym. And for resistance training, it's the same. For aerobic training, it's the same. You want generally to keep it under an hour and not to the point where you're just dead right after. You need to still feel good, and exercise is going to be great for your health and your mental health. And working after exercising can definitely work. And I did this morning. I woke up and I just left for a run, seeing the sunrise. It was absolutely beautiful. And I did like a 30-40 minute run. And then I came back home, and it wasn't super intensive. It was under an hour. And then I just got to work right after, and it was fucking amazing. Right? It was huge. And the last bonus thing that I'll say you have to remove is bullshit relationships, bullshit friends, and just overall bullshit habits that keep you up late. And why am I saying this? Because from my personal experience, from people in university, etc., people really like to go out at night. And if you are going out at night, you're having a really bad sleep, okay? And this is really going to fuck up your mental health. Your mental health, yes, but also your focus, okay? Sleep is the fundamental. It's the number one thing you need to focus on if you want to, get better at focusing, okay? That's the first thing I do with my clients in my coaching. What you do, that you really need to improve your sleep and remove all of the bad habits, and one of them is staying up late. Okay, you really need to stop doing that. And you'll see an insane difference on your focus once you finally get your sleep right. Okay, so these are just a few things you can do to increase your focus. Again, if you want to check out my full course, 3.5 hours on quitting addictions, you can check the link in the description. And if you'd like to work with me on one-on-one, the second link is a call that we can book, and we'll see if you're a fit. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.